Takeda has been around for a long time, and it focuses on a few therapeutic areas: oncology, neuroscience, GI, and rare disease. But the role I play there is more expansive than that. Because at the end of the day, it's not really about the therapeutic area, it's about what idea do you have? Because the idea is more important than therapeutic area. And the role that I play in Takeda in search and evaluation is that I don't focus on the API. I'm the only guy in the business development department that is not looking for new drugs. All right, that might sound kind of weird, right? But to me, it's more about, what makes the drug work, right? Sometimes it's a delivery system, right? And sometimes all you need is a proper delivery system, and an old drug might work. Right. And so the idea is if you keep focusing on creating new drugs, it's great. It's a very hard road, but keep the patient in mind. I think that's the most important thing. What new ideas do you have, all right, that you can develop, make better, that can actually treat the patient at hand? I think, philosophically, that's the approach that we should have, all throughout healthcare and pharma. And I think if we have that approach, I think we're heading in the right direction. Now, I'll just say a few words about what I think are the challenges for the pharma industry. Well, as you know, the pharma industry is consolidating, right? The bigger pharmaceutical industries are buying each other out. We're buying out the smaller ones. And there's a reason for that. And there's a certain fashion these days to go for exotic treatments, right? And these exotic treatments right now range from cell therapies, where people are implanting living cells like CAR T cell therapies, and also gene therapies where they're injecting live viruses, right, in hopes of permanently curing the patients. Now, unfortunately, these exotic therapies have exotic price tags too, and there's a limit to how much an economy can bear on this. So if you were to be confronted with a challenge in where the pharma industry, where they want to go in the future, are basically curative treatments, all right, not managing diseases, but curing diseases, it becomes very, very hard, right? But sometimes the best goals to go after are the hardest ones, right? So this should give a lot of true entrepreneurs the initiative to try to tackle something important. Now, what aspect of this goal of curing diseases, may you aspire to contribute to? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to understand the entire ecosystem from end to end. In fact, I don't think any one human being can do that, but there are certain aspects. Can you bring down the price of production for cell therapies? Can you find another way of creating a gene therapy? Maybe you don't use viruses. Maybe use some other carriers, right? Do you have to use DNA? Right now, RNA is the flavor of the day. Can you think of something else? Do you really need to use CRISPR and to target genes? Are there other methods that might be possible that may be a lower cost alternative, a more efficient, a more elegant system to treat the disease? And so I'll just, those are my personal thoughts, right? And I think that's a very good idea for the innovators here to contribute, to join the Innovo programs, because I think you get a very good education on how to make that work. It's not just simply about the science. There are a lot of components behind it that is apart from the science. There's the business, there's the people aspect, there's networking, and all those play almost an equally important role to not get stymied into just having technology that goes nowhere. And so I think I can just close with saying, and I'd like to challenge you to think really clearly about your ideas and to have ideas. And sometimes I've seen so many pitch decks come my way, which aren't really new ideas. They're just modifications of old ideas that are about the same. They're alternatives, but not necessarily a quantum leap better. So I would challenge you there for you entrepreneurs and innovators to really think creativity and utilize the programs that were presented today, especially taking into consideration the NextMed program, where it's integrated health approach. I think that's a very good place to start. Don't get locked up into the science. Think about how you can go from end to end, from the bench all the way to the bedside. And sometimes the only way you can do that is to participate with an institution that can do it. Many institutions get stuck on the bench, can't make it to the bedside. But if you're in a program that can take you all the way and also teach you the way Innovo may teach you in handling the challenges that come up, I think that would be much to your benefit. So thank you for giving me a few minutes to share my thoughts.